So if he'll let me introduce him, if we have contact. Dr. DeForest Soaries, Jr. is senior pastor of the First Baptist Church of Lincoln Gardens in Somerset, New Jersey. Dr. Soaries has done a lot of things, both in his ministry and in other fields. He's a sought-after speaker and advisor to both public and private institutions. Dr. Soaries earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Fordham University, Master of Divinity degree from Princeton Theological Seminary, and a Doctor of Ministry degree from the United Theological Seminary. He has received 6 honorary doctorate degrees from institutions of higher learning. Additionally, Dr. Soaries has taught courses at Princeton Theological Seminary, Drew University Theological School, Keene University, and Mercer County College. In a life of many moments, it seems he was also kidnapped at gunpoint from his college dormitory by drug dealers. What in the world has this man been up to back in the day? And he, can he hear me? A little bit, I think. And he hasn't stopped trying to improve things since. Perhaps of greatest interest to this gathering are Dr. Soaries' historic and noteworthy government positions. From January 1999 to January 2002, he served as New Jersey's 30th Secretary of State, making him the first African-American male to serve as a constitutional officer of the state. In February 2003, Dr. Soaries was appointed by President Bush to serve as a public director of the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York. Dr. Soaries is also the former chairman of the United States Election Assistance Commission. He was appointed by President Bush in December of 2003 after being confirmed by the United States Senate. He was elected chairman of the commission on January 5, 2004 at the first meeting of the 4-member bipartisan commission. In November 2004, his commission was the first federal agency to oversee a presidential election. He resigned from the commission in April of 2005. Born in New York, raised in New Jersey, Dr. Soaries resides in Monmouth Junction, New Jersey with his wife Donna and his twin sons Malcolm and Martin. Please join me in welcoming Dr. DeForest Buster Soaries, Jr.
Hopefully, now that you know everything about me, except my shoe size, good evening. This technology is very interesting. The first time I've used it, I'd like to thank the Brennan Center for inviting me to spend this time with you. I wish I could have been in Minnesota, although the later it gets in the year, the less excited I am about the idea. But my responsibility is here overnight and tomorrow prevented my coming in person. But I want to say a word to you tonight, first in recognition of the important subject matter that has called us together. The Brennan Center was so helpful to us when the EAC first started, and the Brennan Center continues to be doing cutting-edge work, raising critical issues, and challenging us to do better as it relates to our democratic practices. I just can't thank them enough for their work throughout the years. We worked together on a task force for the state of Washington recently, and I continue to read their work and to be informed by their conclusions. I want to, I hope the current EAC chair is there. I've never met her, but simply because of what she does, she's in my prayers daily. And I'll leave it. I'll leave that. But you know, you should know the significance of your gathering, and if you don't, just listen to the speeches of the candidates as president, both Democrats and Republicans. And I don't think to date we've heard one sentence uttered by any presidential candidate about the integrity of our elections process. This is an embarrassment. It is, I think, exemplary of the challenge we have. And unless persons like yourself, in meetings like these, really take seriously issues that relate to elections administration, voter integrity, the integrity of the process, then I think we will be increasingly embarrassed because there are countries around the world who we consider to be less effective democracies than America that have much more sophisticated election administration practices and policies. When I tell people today, 7 years after the Florida debacle of 2000, how fragile our system still is, people are surprised. The Help America Vote Act was supposed to provide sufficient resources and apparatus to ensure that America is voting very seriously. And I am convinced that the federal officials in Washington have concluded that the process can't be that bad because after all it produces them. Your presence is indicative of the fact that very serious people on a state and local level will have to really address very serious issues and inform this country and take this democracy forward. I'm particularly concerned today and in prayer for the people of California. When I was chair of the EAC, I raised the question, what happens if we have a natural disaster, a hurricane, a flood? What happens if we have to evacuate 1 million people just a few weeks before an election? And now we find ourselves facing that challenge in California. 1 million people evacuated, 500,000 will remain evacuated. And I just can't imagine what Connie and some of the other election officials are doing in California, what the Secretary of State will do, because still, as a country, we've not taken seriously the need to put in place policies that will guide us as we attempt to focus on voting in light of natural disasters. When I raised the question in 2004, members of the Bush administration, high-ranking officials with education, said, well, we voted during the Civil War, and we can vote through everything. And I wish some of them would ask the people in California today how easy it's going to be to adjust to the crisis that they may face. This is just one of many examples of very serious questions that have to be addressed. The issue of post-election audits is a very important issue. It's still alarming that after the presidential election next year in November, we still won't have a handle on how many people actually voted. We know how many votes each candidate received, but we still have no capacity to count the number of people nationally who vote in a presidential election, which means we don't know how many undervotes there were, we don't know how many overvotes there were, and we can't analyze the differential because we can't measure. And so I would like to thank all of you for gathering in Minnesota, for wrestling with this part of the election process. And I pray that you will be civil, that you will be inspired, and that as a result of your work, the entire elections administration process will be better. I know Doug Chapin will be there, and he's a thoughtful person. I know Verified Voting is there, and they are passionate advocates. And I just pray that somehow the light will come on in the country so that we will be as democratic as the world thinks we are. Thank you for allowing me to join you via technology, and I look forward to seeing as many of you possible in the future. God bless.